I was absolutely terrified.
There was a long list of actors lining up to take on the reins of the leading character in Matt Reeve's The Batman. With its release so close and so many cast interviews, we wonder how'd they land the parts. We're taking you on their journeys before they began filming and why they were chosen to be a part of the next Batman film. Number 1. Robert Pattinson jumped through a lot of hoops to land the title role in The Batman, but the main part of his audition process? Trying on the suit.
It's the size of your head that's the defining factor.
Pattinson said trying on the suit was not the easiest part, and certainly wasn't the most comfortable either. Costume designers pulled out all the Batsuits from the past, in hopes he would at least fit in one of them, but unfortunately, he couldn't fit in one of them. However, this is where costume designers shined, mixing and matching the helmets and bodysuits of each one to see if any of them would work.
Kind of Frankensteined it, but either one didn't really fit.
Robert was like Goldilocks with them. Some were too small for his head, and others were just too big. Weird, considering he's already pretty tall, but they finally settled on the best look for him. George Clooney's bat head was the only one big enough for him, and Val Kilmer's bat suit just fit like a charm.
Trying to squeeze your legs into this 30-year-old foam costume.
Luckily, Pattinson was ready for the screen test, and as soon as he put on the costume, he went full-on Batman. Number 2. Zoe Kravitz had to put in a lot of effort to get the Catwoman role in this movie, and she had to endure a lot of anxiety throughout as well.
It's scary. It's intense. It's intense.
She's not a stranger to the audition process, but with a role of this caliber, her anxiety almost got the best of her. After busting through the initial stages to get the attention of producers, she finally got to put on the suit and perform next to Robert Pattinson. They asked her to take off her helmet and deliver the lines. Simple enough, right? Not simple for Kravitz because she just got too caught up in that simple action. She recalled that awkward moment where she attempted to capture Catwoman's sexiness, but just couldn't accomplish that with the helmet removal. Of course, she was able to get the part, but this moment definitely made it harder for her.
Yeah, and I'm trying to be like, I don't care whether I get the part or not.
Number 3. If only Zoe knew that she was not alone during this moment, and that the fearsome Batman was having his own panic attack alongside her.
I felt like I was still auditioning.
Yeah.
That was the case for poor Robert, as this was also his first time saying a single line as the Batman. We can understand being a little nervous with the cameras on you for the first time in a new role, but he really wasn't even shown during Kravitz's screen test.
It's hard. It was a really hard role.
Robert was even leaning on Zoe for emotional support during the scene, and she really did do well considering she got the part. Maybe it was just the nerves of saying the lines, but we can also agree that Zoe's acting skills had a part to catch Robert off guard.
And she didn't look nervous at all. She was kind of improvising and stuff.
Number 4. There are times when actors just have a hard time getting into their roles, but for Pattinson, all he had to do was put on the suit.
I still can't really understand that it's even happening.
The history and legacy of the costume can really work wonders on an actor's performance, changing everything from their body to their voice.
You put the suit on and you have to speak in a certain way.
Robert accredits a lot of his performance to his batsuit, with the way it gives him a sort of strange power, and this kind of feeling can rub off on others, specifically the cast and crew.
People get freaked out by it.
When he put on the outfit for the first time for a camera test, Robert could see the frightened look on everyone's faces, and him being such a nice guy, this was a little tough to swallow for him. But feeling this kind of frightening power in the batsuit isn't a new thing. A lot of Batman actors shared similar stories of donning the cape. There are no reports yet as to whether Pattinson added his method acting approach to the role, but maybe the suit just did it for him.
It has such a kind of totemic power.
Number 5. The villains of Batman are almost endless, and putting together the look of Colin Farrell's Penguin for the film seemed a little lengthy too.
Someone to do the teeth, someone to do the wig, someone to do the this, someone to do...
We sat and wondered when we would see Penguin for the first time in the trailer, second guessing who exactly that actor was. And that's thanks to the film's makeup department, who worked tirelessly with Farrell to get the look down right.
It just sparked my imagination and continued to every day that I went to work.
It wasn't as difficult as most processes are for initial makeup designs, and it was also a very big team effort. Colin recalled having a very enjoyable time working endlessly with the other artists to get a look that works for both the actor and the film.
It was so exciting, and we were all just on the same page.
All this work helped mold his character and voice, something that can definitely take the load off an actor's busy schedule. We're more than excited to see a little more of his character when the film comes out, and thinking just how they were able to make a very recognizable actor unrecognizable. Number 6. Even Batman can rock some heels, and this one apparently needed them.
Seems like such a bad idea, you know?
And
Pattinson's 6-foot height wasn't enough for director Matt Reeves, so they opted for some stylish high-heeled shoes instead. Pattinson found them a little ridiculous with the seriousness of the character, but they were adamant about using them, so of course he obliged.
I wanted to do a radically different thing to all the other Batman.
The full outfit reveal looked so Batman to us, and all the aspects of its design definitely played out well in the end for his character, but if they were a little too awkward for Robert to wear, we wonder if they had extra rehearsal time for him to practice punching bad guys in heels.
It's a quite unusual dance.
Number 7. The world's greatest detective couldn't figure Robert was donning the cowl so early on, but leave it to a Batman visionary to see right through him.
I hadn't told a soul about it.
Dark Knight director Christopher Nolan snagged Pattinson for a role in his film Tenet, and to his surprise, Pattinson had just got secretly offered the role of Batman a day before shooting began. Robert was told to be a little hush-hush about the role initially, but somehow, Nolan has a hand in everything Batman.
Chris obviously has the inside scoop.
Christopher confronted him the first day after Robert told a little fib about a family emergency to go screen test for Matt Reeves. Though, no worries, Nolan was just as happy for him as Pattinson was getting the role, and to get a congratulations from one of the finest Batman directors in cinema history must have really meant a lot to him. Number 8. There was a short period of time after Ben Affleck left the titular role that every actor wanted in on his replacement. And for Pattinson, curiosity came to him when he met with the Batman producer Dylan Clark for a non-related discussion.
I saw on his IMDb that there was just rumored Batman involvement.
Pattinson always had an affinity for Batman and always wanted to be involved in a superhero movie. Meeting with the producer was his best chance, so he decided to give him a little push towards his direction to think about casting him.
There's an opening there, so I kind of kept pushing and pushing.
With an open-ended twinkle in Clark's eye, he definitely saw Robert as a potential candidate for the role. Just that small question from Pattinson started a cascade of persuasion and insistence from him to finally snag the part. Number 9. A surprising initial choice to play the villain role of Riddler was Jonah Hill. He was actually in deep conversations with producers before dropping the part. We really couldn't imagine why he dropped such a title role, but we can be glad it landed in award-winning actor Paul Dano's hands. Hill does indeed have a very impressive acting resume, and there's no doubt he wouldn't have made the role extraordinary in the new Batman. However, with the look we've gotten of the new Riddler from the trailers, we simply cannot wait to see Dano's take on it. These actors really put in a lot of effort and desire to audition for the Batman, and casting did a great job picking them. If Robert Pattinson never rocked those high-heeled shoes and the outfit, would he have still been right for the role? Did you have a favorite audition experience from the Batman? Let us know in the comments.